Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with Poonam. If you're new here, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more coding tutorials. We are on day 6 of our 30-day pattern challenge. And today's pattern is all about printing a right angle triangle where each column is filled with its column number. So let's proceed with the challenge and we will move towards our VS Code. If you see in the VS Code, we have here our question. What is the question? We have to write a JavaScript function to print a right angle triangle, and this is our following pattern. Okay. Now we will come down and we are going to break down our question. So first of all, what we have to write? We have to write here what? A JavaScript function. So I will write it over here. After that, what is the next important part? That we have to print a right angle triangle, correct? So let us take this and we are just going to put it over here. Now let us come at our line number 8 and we will define our function name. So I will write here what? Print pattern as our function name. So this will be our function name. Okay. Now since we have to achieve this particular pattern, so we will come down and we will write our approach for that. So let me write here what? An approach. Okay. Now we will come down and we are going to create a variable str with an empty string. Okay. So I will just write here what? Create an variable. Okay. And why we need this variable? This variable is going to hold our final pattern. So I'll write here what? Holding our pattern. Okay. Now let us come down and I will write here what? Let str is equal to empty quotes. That means we are initializing this str variable with an empty string. Okay. And this is going to hold our output. Okay. So just let me write it here. Output it is going to hold. Okay. Now let us come down and we are going to write here what? Nested loop. Why nested loop I am writing? Because in this question, we are going to use what? Our nested loop. Whenever we have to print a pattern, we are going to use our nested loop logic itself. So I will write here what? Nested loop. Nested loop means what? A loop inside a loop. So I will just write here what? Loop inside a loop. Okay. Now we will have here two loops. Okay. So I will write here what? It will be our outer loop and we will have our inner loop. So let me just write here outer loop and inner loop. Okay. Now what this outer loop is going to do and what this inner loop is going to do, let us understand down. So I will just write here what? Outer loop. Now this outer loop is going to control our number of rows. Okay. So I will just write here our outer loop and what it is going to do, it is going to control our number of rows. Okay. Now we have our inner loop also. So let us take this inner loop and we will put it over here. Now what this inner loop is going to do, it is going to control, or we can say it will be responsible for managing our number of columns. Okay. So that is what I am going to write it here. Now let us assume that our outer loop will be what? It will be our I loop. Okay. And our inner loop will be what? It will be our J loop. So this is what we are going to assume. Okay. Now let us come about to this particular output pattern and we will understand from this how many rows we have, how many columns we will have here. Okay. So let us come here and we will put this pattern here. Now we can see here at line number 18, it is our first row, right? So I will just write here what? 1. Okay. Now at line number 19, this is our second row. At line number 20, this is our third row. And at line number 24, it is our fourth row, right? And our number of rows are going to be handled by which loop? It is going to handled by our I loop, right? So I will just write here what? I loop. Okay. So let me just write here our I loop directly here. I'll write here as well and we are going to put it here also. So this is our I loop. Okay. Now let us see our columns. So our column is what? This is our first column, right? So I will just write here what? 1 for this. Now if you see, this is our second column where 2 is mentioned, right? So this is our second column. Now if you see, we have here 3, right? So 3 is our third column and we have here lastly our 4. That is nothing but our fourth column. So I'm just writing here what? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is resembling our 4 columns. Okay. And I am going to write here what? J loop, because it is going to control our number of columns, right? Now, since we have understood our number of rows and columns, now let us come down and we will understand where this loop is going to start and where this loop is going to end, okay? So I will write here what I loop, then here I am going to write what j loop, okay? And here I will write start hyphen, and then here I will write end hyphen, okay? And the same thing I am going to put it for our j loop also. Now let us see where our I loop is going to start. So we can see here clearly that I is going to start at 1, and where it is going to end, it is going to end at 4. So it will be from 1 to 4, right? So I will write here what start hyphen 1 and end hyphen 4, okay? And this value 4 is there, right? We will store it inside our n. So I will write here what n is equal to 4, okay? Now let us come to our j loop and we will see where it is going to start. So definitely it is going to start at 1, okay? So I will write here what 1. But where it is going to end? Now if you closely observe this, when I is 1, it is printing 1 value. When I is 2, it is printing 2 values. When I is 3, it is printing 3 values. When I is 4, it is printing 4 values. That means our internal loop should run as per our I loop itself. That is why it is going to end at I, okay? So I will write here what end is what I. And if you come here and if you write the logic for our for loop, I loop, that means, so what we are going to write, I is equal to 1, I should be less than or is equal to n, okay? And then I plus plus. Similarly, what we are going to write for our j loop, then we will write here j is equal to 1. J should be less than or is equal to I, and it will be j plus plus. So this is where it is going to start and it is going to end, okay? Our I loop will start at 1 and it will be end at 4, and our j loop will start at 1 and it is going to end at I, because at every point of time it is running, or we can say printing, only the values with respect to our I. So if I is 1, printing 1 value. If I is 2, printing 2 values. If I is 3, printing 3 values, and if I is 4, it is printing 4 values, okay? That is what it is going to do, okay? Now we will come down and we are going to write our for loop, okay? So let us come down and let us see what we are going to write here then. So I will write here what for, and then we will write here what let I is equal to 1. I should be less than or is equal to 4, correct? Or we can write here directly n also, and we will write here what I plus plus, okay? And then internal loop will be what? Our j loop, right? So let us come here and we will write here what for, then let j is equal to 1, then j should be less than or is equal to I, okay? And now it will be j plus plus, okay? Now we are going to write a logic for concatenating our values to this str variable, right? So what we are going to write? I will write here what str plus is equal to, but what value it is going to print? If you see here very closely, it is printing the j values. You can see 1. So you can see first column, it is printing 1. In the second column, it is printing 2. In the third column, it is printing 3. In the fourth column, it is printing 4. So it is printing nothing but the j values, okay? So I am going to write here what? str plus is equal to j. And it is going to concatenate our j values inside this, okay? Now, after this loop execution is done, we want to take our cursor to the next line, right? So we will come here, and what we are going to do then? We will write here str plus is equal to double quotes backward slash n. Backward slash n means what? It will take it to our next line, right? That is what we are going to do. And finally, after that, we are going to print our str variable that is going to be printed, and we will get our final output, okay? So this will be our logic. Now we have understood that how we are going to write the loop. Now let us see the execution of it, okay? So we will come down and we are going to write here what? Working of it, okay? Now let us take this particular line. I is equal to 1, I is less than or is equal to n, and I plus plus, okay? So this line I am going to take it and I am going to put it over here. Now let us substitute the values, okay? So I will put here what? I is equal to 1. So I'll put here what? 1, and what is our n? It is 4, right? We have written here n is equal to 4. So that is what I am writing, and it will be what? I plus plus. So if we see this, I is less than 4, that means 1 is less than 4, correct? So it will be what? True, right? So now we will go for our J loop execution because this loop is turning out to be true. So it will enter inside and it is going to execute our J loop, okay? So let us take this J is equal to 1, J is less than or is equal to I and J plus plus, okay? So this I will take it and I am going to put it over here. Now let us substitute the values here. J is equal to 1, correct? So I will write here what? 1. And what is our I value? It is also 1. So 1 is less than 1? No, but 1 is equal to 1, right? Therefore, this condition is true, right? So I will write here what? True, okay? Now what we are going to print here then? We are going to print our J value. What is our J value right now? It is 1. So I will write here what? 1, okay? Now after that, what it is going to happen? The J value is going to increment. So it will become what? J is equal to 2, right? And 2 less than or is equal to I, that means 1. So if we test here now, the condition is going to fail, right? That is where we will write here what? False, and it is going to terminate, right? So I will write here termination is going to happen, and in our str what it is going to hold? It will hold only one time 1 for the first time execution, okay? Now after that, what will happen? Our I value is going to increment, right? So I will take this and I'm just going to put it over here now. So what I am going to write? I is equal to 2. That means 2 less than or is equal to 4. It is again true because 2 is less than 4, right? Then our J loop is going to execute now, right? So I will take this and I am just going to put it over here and we will substitute the values now. Now J is equal to 1, right? So I will write here what? 1. And what is our I value? It is 2, right? So I will write here 2. And if you now test the condition, 1 is less than 2, it is true, right? So I will write here what? True. And what it is going to print? It will print here our J value. That means it is going to print here what? 1. After that, again J value is going to increase, right? So we will have here what? J is equal to 2. And 2 is less than or is equal to 2. It is not less, but it is equal to 2, right? So we are going to write here what? True, okay? Now what it is going to print now? It is going to print the J value. That is 2 it is going to print. After that, what will happen? J value is again going to increase. So we will write here what? J is equal to 3. 3 less than or is equal to what? 2, because I value is still 2. Now 3 is less than 2? No. 3 is equal to 2? No. That means this condition is going to be failing, right? So we will write here what? False, okay? And then we will write here what? Termination. So since it is going to fail, it is going to terminate, and then finally in our str variable, we are going to have here what? 1 and 2. So here we have successfully done our 2 times execution. After that, again our I value is going to increase, right? So it will become what? 3. So let us take this and we are going to put it over here. So I is equal to 3. Then 3 is less than or is equal to 4. And if you test the condition, yes, 3 is less than 4. That means it is true, right? So now what will happen? It will enter and it is going to execute our J loop, right? So we will write here what? Our J loop, and we will substitute the values. So J is equal to 1. So I will write here 1, but what is our I value? It is 3, right? So 1 is less than 3. Yes, it is true, correct? So we will write here what? True. And then what it is going to print? It will print the J value. That means it is going to print here what? 1, okay? After that, J value is going to increment, right? So we will have here J is equal to 2. And we will have here 2 is less than or is equal to 3, correct? Because I value is still 3. And if you check the condition, 2 is less than 3, right? So therefore, we are going to write here what? True, okay? And what it is going to print? It is going to print our J value. So we will get here what? 2, okay? After that, what it will happen? Again, our J value is going to increment. So we will have here what? J is equal to 3. And then we will have 3 here. And we will have here what? Again here as 3. So if you see, 3 is not less than 3, but 3 is equal to 3, right? So therefore, this execution here, what we are going to get, we will get here as what, true, and we will get here value printed as what, 3, right? And after that, again our j value is going to increment. So we will get here what, j is equal to 4, and 4 less than or is equal to 3. Now here the condition is going to fail. So it will be failing, and we will write here what, false, and termination of the loop is going to happen. So I will write here what termination is going to happen, and in our str variable, it is going to hold what, str 1, 2, and 3. Okay, after that, what will happen? Again, the I value is going to increase. So I value will become what, 4, right? So we will come here and we will write here what, I is equal to 4, correct? 4 is less than or is equal to 4, we are going to write. So if you see here, it is not less, but it is equal to 4, right? So therefore, we are going to get here true, and it is again going to enter inside our J loop itself, right? So we will take this and we are going to put it down, okay? Now, if you see here, what we are going to do, we are going to substitute the values. So we will write here what, 1, and what is our I value, 4, correct? And if you see 1 is less than or is equal to 4, yes, it is true. So therefore, we are going to print here what, 1, okay? After that, what will happen? J value is again going to increase, right? So J is equal to 2, and 2 is less than or is equal to 4, right? Then again it is true because 2 is less than 4. So we are going to print here what, 2, okay? Now after that, what will happen? Our J value is going to increase, right? So I will write here what, J is equal to 3, correct? And 3 is less than or is equal to 4. If you see, the condition is true, right? And therefore, we are going to print here J value, that is nothing but our 3. After that, what will happen? Our J value is going to increase again. So we will write here what, J is equal to 4. Then 4 is less than or is equal to 4. So here the condition is again true because it is not less, but it is equal to 4, right? So therefore, we will write here what, true. And what we are going to print here, we will be printing here 4, okay? After that, what will happen? Again, J value is going to increase. So it will become what, 5. And then here we will have what, 5 is less than or is equal to 4. Now here the condition is going to fail, and we are going to write here F, and the final termination will happen, okay? So I will write here what, termination is going to happen, and then we will have inside our str variable what, str is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? After that, what will happen? Our I value is again going to increase, right? So we will take this and we are going to put it over here. So I will write here what, I is equal to 5. 5 is less than or is equal to 4. Now here the condition is failing because it is not less. It is not is equal to also, right? Therefore, I am writing here what, false. And after that, what will happen? It is going to terminate here itself. So it will be the end of our both the loops. So I will write here what, end of both the loops. And after that, finally, we are going to print our str variable, which will be nothing but our final output pattern I could write here, okay? Now, if you go above and if you see the output also, first time it is what, 1, then we have 1 and 2, then we have 1, 2, and 3, then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you come down and see, we have here 1, we have here 1 and 2, here we have what, 1, 2, and 3, and here we have what, 1, 2, 3, and 4. After that, there is a termination of our loops, and then we are printing our final output, right? That is what it is going to happen here. This is how the execution is going to happen, okay? Now let us come down, and what we will do now, we are going to write our function, okay, with respect to this, and we will execute and see in the terminal how we are going to get it. So first of all, what we will do, we will just open our new terminal over here, okay? And let us come to the left hand side. So we will write here what, our function, and our function name is what, print pattern, then parenthesis, flower braces, and we are going to invoke it here, okay? And to this, we are going to pass a value as 4, okay? And here we will receive as an n. Now let us come down and we are just going to console it here. So console.log of n I am going to do. And now let us just test it here that we are able to receive it or not here. Okay. So we will write here what? Node 06 pattern.js, and you can see here we are getting 4. That means whatever I'm passing here as an argument, it is able to receive inside an parameter. Okay. And now let us create here an variable called as an str. So let str is equal to double quotes. Okay. That means we are initializing with an empty string here. Okay. Now let us come down and we are going to do what? We are going to write our loop. So I will write here what? For let I is equal to 1, I should be less than or is equal to n and I plus plus. Okay. Then flower braces we are going to put inside that we are going to write our J loop. Okay. So let J is equal to 1. Okay. And then J should be less than or is equal to I and then J plus plus. Correct. Now let us come inside and we are just going to console our I value and J value to see the execution. Okay. So I will write here what? Console.log of. First I will write I. Then I will put here comma and I. Then we will write in the double quotes J. And then we will write here J. We can write here what? Colon also along with this so that we can understand very nicely. Okay. Now let us save this and let us come here and we are going to write here what? Node 06 pattern.js and hit enter. Now we can see here that when I is equal to 1, J is 1. That means J is running only one time, correct? That means the working what we have done, it is correct, right? When I is 2, J is running 2 times, correct? So that is where we have here 2 values, right? When I is 3, it is running for 3 times. With respect to our I, it is running, right? So that is why we have what? 1, 2, and 3. Now, when I is 4, it is running 4 times. So therefore, we have here what? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it is running with respect to our I value and it is printing the J value, right? So that is what we have understood now. Now let us come here and we are just going to concatenate our J value inside our str variable. So let us comment this out and we will write here what? Str plus is equal to J, right? Now let us come here and we are just going to console our str, okay? So I will write here what? Console.log of str. And we are just going to clear it up and we will write here what? One more time, node 06 pattern.js. And if you see, we are getting the output. That means 1, 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything we are getting, but it is not taking to the next line, right? So therefore, we have to include this line also. Next line, right? So we will write here what? Str plus is equal to, and then we are going to put what? Backward slash of n, right? So let us write that str plus is equal to double quotes backward slash of n. And now let us just run it one more time. Node 06 pattern.js. You can see we are getting our exact output, right? But here we have an additional one more line. So to remove that, what we are going to use? We will be using our trim method. So let me just write it over here. Dot trim and our parenthesis, right? Now let us come here and rerun it. So node 06 pattern.js. And if you see now, we are getting here our exact output, right? So from this, we reach to this. And after that, we got our final output also, correct? Now let us just comment our console.log of n. And we will just clear the terminal here. And we will write here what? Node 06 pattern.js. And if you see now, we are getting our exact output. Let us tally with our output, which we have it here. So we can see here that it is 1, it is 1 and 2, it is 1, 2, 3, it is 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So that is what here also we have got it. So we have done with this and we have got our desired output, correct? Now let us come here and we will have a quick recap of this particular question. So let us come above and we are just going to read out the question. So we have to write here what? A JavaScript function to print a right angle triangle. And this was our output, right? So now what we did, we came down and we wrote here the important part of the question, right? And we also defined here what? Our function name will be what? Print pattern, right? Then we came down and we wrote our approach to achieve this following pattern, correct? So we came down and what we did, we created here a variable which is going to hold an pattern, right? And we initialized with an empty string. So we wrote here what? Let str is equal to empty codes, right? Then we understood that whenever we have to use a pattern or whenever we want to get a pattern, we are going to use our nested loop, right? So that is what we have written here, that we are going to use here two loops, that is our I loop and our j loop. And then we came down and we understood that this pattern is holding how many rows and how many columns, right? Then we came down and we also understood that what will be the start point and what will be the end point for our I loop and for our j loop, correct? Then we wrote here our for loop, correct? Then we came down and we understood the working also. So we understood that it is going to print what? Our j value. That is why we concatenated j value to the str variable. And to take the cursor to the next line, we added here what? Double quotes backward slash n, right? And finally, we printed our str also. Now let us come down and see the working. So this is what the working we have done. So I is going to run from 1 to 4 and j is going to run with respect to the I, and it is going to concatenate our j values, right? That is what we have done here when I is equal to 1, when I is equal to 2, when I is equal to 3, and I is equal to 4, right? When I becomes 5, it is going to terminate because the condition is going to fail, and that will be the end of our loop. And finally, we are going to print the output, that is our str variable, right? Then we came down and we wrote our function also, right? So what we wrote here, function print pattern, right? And here we were passing n as in parameter. Then we wrote our console.log n just to test that whether whatever we are passing as an argument, it has been received here or not, right? Then we created here our str variable. Then we wrote here our nested loop. Here again, we concatenated with backward slash n to that str variable, right? Then after that, we consoled our str variable after our for loop execution, but we used our trim method also because we saw that it was giving me one more line, right? That is why we have used here what? Our trim method. And then at line number 65, we just invoked it print pattern and we were passing here what? Our 4 as an argument, right? So it got substituted here and it is going to run as per this, right? Now let us come here and clear the terminal and rerun it one more time and we will see the output. So node 06 pattern.js, and we see here that we are going to get our exact output, okay? So this is what this question was demanding and we have done the same, guys, okay? Now what I want from y'all guys is try experimenting this with different values of n and let me know your results in the comments. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more programming tutorials, and I will see you in the next one. So till then, keep coding, keep learning, and keep growing. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.